So hello everyone, welcome back to another live trading session. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So if you haven't checked out today's video, make sure you do so. Very important things for Bitcoin. And it already looks like we have rejected from that level again. So this is currently the kind of key level that we've got. It's very, very key as this does mark out where we're going to be heading in even the next day or maybe today. Right, so let's mark out that level on Everdex. There's the support and there's the resistance. You can see price has been rejecting from that level about 4 times now. That's the first rejection, second rejection, third rejection, and now 4th rejection from that level. And now we are obviously in that 1 hour time frame. So if we were to look at liquidity, we would see still that we've got that liquidity on the upside. That is where majority of the liquidity is sat. There is currently 116 million at 77,000 though, but we've mostly got it at 140. 79k, sorry, that's 140 at 79k. So where's the 170 mil? Oh, there we go, it's refreshed. So yeah, we have 142 million at 77,000, and then the 171 in the upside of that 79,000 and change, tiny little bit. So it's nearly bang on 79k. And currently, as you can see, we're at 77,800. So we could expect a move now to the support level for a bounce back up to retest that resistance level. As you can see, we've tried to break through it multiple times. So I am getting, that indication that we are going to break through. We've had some positive things currently happening for Bitcoin. Markets have calmed down a bit. And that ceasefire agreement obviously kind of calmed things down, and the risk factor has come down significantly, and now we could actually expect that push for the upside. We've had those inflows as well, which is good for Bitcoin, and you can see that in this short space of time, it's not too short but it's not obviously long either, but in this space of time we've had those multiple tries to obviously break that resistance level there. So as you can see, that push for the upside would be larger than this candle that we currently have here. So that push most likely be up to about here. And that is also where we have that 170 million in liquidity, as you can see here. 79,000, like bang on. Actually, that would even be higher than that. That would be approximately there. So if I was to just drop a level on there. We'll get it in a red colour so we know what is what. That 174 million liquidity is there. And now if we were to look on a lower time frame, we could wait for that next green candle and jump in on a push to the downside of that support level. As you can see, it has touched it a lot of times. We have come down to that support level here, not quite fully, but we're still in that kind of area. Here we've gone through it slightly for a false break. Here as well, we've gone properly through it. And then here we've touched it perfectly. So now we could be, you know, in for that move to that downside. So as you can see, it didn't have enough of that strength to obviously crack through that level. And now we have come in for a reversal off of that resistance level. And I believe here we've got a slight downtrend, if I'm not mistaken. No, we were kind of forming an uptrend. So we have a high here, a low. So the first low, the first high, but then we have a higher low, but then this high isn't higher. So that kind of obviously shows that the uptrend isn't working. So then we've kind of obviously seen weakness and we've come bearish again. So now we could realistically come in for a push to the downside. 77,367, 77,367.3. So we can actually set that stop loss, we'll set it above that previous high, which would be slightly over 100. So we'll do 150 just to be safe. Now we are expecting that move towards that downside of that support level that we have at the bottom there of 77,367. And as for liquidity is sat at 77,000 just about, and it's quite strange as we've got 79,098 for the upside, and then we've got 77,097. Very, very similar in price, but yeah. So 77k, but the support level that we have is around 73k, as you can see. So that's that liquidity from this low, I believe. Yeah. So we do have a resistance there. See, price is trying to come back up. And there's that much larger bearish candle that we've got there. Yeah, so that is currently where we are at with Bitcoin. We've had a lot of positive things actually coming in for it, but not so much negative. Things have kind of, calmed down on the geopolitics side of things. Things are looking not too crazy. You can see it's elevated, but it's still relatively neutral at the minute. Nothing, too crazy going on. But then as for liquidity, we've got more liquidity on the upside, obviously. That 171 million as to 142 in the downside of 77k. So there are a little bit more factors on the upside for Bitcoin, and yeah, not so much on the downside. So I'm expecting a push for the upside as we come up from that support level. As you can see, we didn't have enough momentum to crack through, and now I believe we are kind of consolidating. You can see we've been consolidating for quite some time within this key level, and now we are coming in for a push towards that support level at the bottom. And my guess is that we will bounce off of that support level back up for a push to retest that resistance level and potentially coming above it to get that liquidity that's sat at that 79k, which is there. So it's just there, and that is just above. Yeah, it's just above that 4-hour time frame support and resistance level that we had. Let me just show you. You can see that is the 4-hour time frame key support level and resistance level that we have. I think I just moved it. Kind of get the idea. We've got a touch there from the support, here as well. And then you can see price is being restricted by that resistance there. And now we have been, as you can see, consolidating ever since 23rd. So that is yesterday. Actually 22nd, Wednesday. So Wednesday we peaked, and then we had resistance there. You can see that's that daily time frame resistance level. As you can see, it hit it perfectly. Let me just get rid of them. Yeah, so hit it perfectly, and then we've been kind of consolidating ever since. So we might actually be in for a retest of that resistance level now. I believe the market has shifted. These two lows are exactly the same, and I believe we will start making higher highs and higher lows now, unless we get a push to the downside right about now. So obviously we've kind of shifted by the looks of it here. So that'll be the first high, the first low, and then that'll be the second high, second low, third high, third low, and then a potential push to the upside there. Unless we obviously get a push from the downside right now and continue coming bearish. Yeah, that is currently where we are at with Bitcoin. We'll see what happens after this candle here. Got about 15 seconds left. So this candle ideally would need to form a higher high for that structure to be valid. But it looks as if we're not going to get that. But you can see we've had some resistance from this level. A push there, again you can see it's come down ever so slightly. Then it's been pushed back, come down again, pushed back. So we'll need to see a stronger move to the downside now if we're actually going to get a push towards that support level. Hello, Madhu Shad. Yes, hello, sir. NXN, hello. I'm good. How are you? So it seems we have a little bit more weakness now from the buyers, judging from this candle here, because previous times we have seen a strong push. I don't want to speak too soon because this candle might actually push higher towards the upside now. It's got about 15 seconds or so left. Kind of a strange structure we're currently seeing. But you can see that each candle has closed lower than the previous one, which does suggest but at the same time we've created a low here, but the market's been kind of in this bullish range ever since this low has been created. And we've actually not even came down to that low. We're not going to exit, we're going to see how this trade plays out. If we were right, if we were wrong. But we need to see a stronger push to the downside if we're going to see the market coming down to that support level at the bottom. Currently it looks to be on a move to the upside for some reason. Well, the reason is obviously to get that liquidity at the top. We do have a liquidity at the 77k though. That is that seems closer. Yeah, that seems a lot closer than the 79k that we have. Well, 79k, we've got that 170-ish. Let me just refresh. Yeah, we've got 170 million for the upside and 142 for the downside, but the 142 is closer. But obviously that doesn't quite determine if price is going to go there or not. There are other factors that obviously have to fit the criteria. But as you can see, we've got higher lows but lower highs. So obviously that's the first high. This high is lower and this high is also lower, but then this is that first low, and this low is higher than this one, and this one this one is higher than this one, and this one is higher than this one. So we've got higher lows but lower highs, which is kind of strange. There we go, there's that push for the downside. There we go, look at that, there's a big push. I believe that right there was called a triangle. So, what we've got is kind of this. And then the same thing from the bottom. You can see price being squeezed within this area here. You can see squeezing. So we did have those lower highs, but also the higher lows, which obviously creates that triangle. So it comes obviously like that, like a mountain. And now we've had that big break to the downside. Very nice, very nice. So we've broken through that triangle right there. Very interesting to see that movement. So we obviously entered at this high here. It got a little bit nervous when we did come past, but I did place the stop loss above this previous high. Obviously that would kind of be a clear indication of a market shift where we come past the previous high. But as you can see, it didn't even make it to that, obviously that level, and then yeah, we kind of created this triangle here that we've got. So we had the higher lows but then lower highs. Obviously it creates that shape that we've got there, and then it obviously broke through. It's a very interesting structure to see within the market itself. So yeah, now we do seem to be on a much faster move to the downside of that support level, which is 77,367, whereas we have the liquidity at 77,000 and something, at 98 or 97. Yep, 97. So that's 140 mil there. 77,274. We have got 87 million. So it looks to me as if we are going to come for a push to that downside before we actually get a push to the upside to retest that level of 78,000. Let me just double check. Yeah, 78,300. You can see we've been coming up to that resistance level many times, but there hasn't been enough strength within that market to obviously come through. We've had a false break here and here as well, a little bit larger on this area here, but then we've come back in for the reversal. A bit of a larger false break to the downside as well, as you can see. And yeah, ever since we've been consolidating. But yeah, the fact that we've got 4 times for obviously denials, or whatever you want to call it, been denied that there's 4 times by that resistance level there. You can see it comes up, doesn't quite make it through, comes through, doesn't quite make it through, and again, and now we only just touched this resistance level there, which is a good confirmation that the level is actually there. And yeah, ever since with that, we've been coming bearish. So that is where we are currently at with Bitcoin. Please help me. What do you mean help you? Why? What do you need help with? I'm not a physiotherapist or a. That's not what we do. I'm just a therapist. I'm not a therapist. I just trade and stuff. So, what do you need help with? Let me know. Let me know. I'll do the best I can. So we're going to move our stop loss up, so obviously we don't come back up, because this is kind of an area where we could actually expect that fake breakout. So obviously we had the breakout, but it is going to either be a fake one. There we go. So it looks to me as if that was obviously a fake breakout, and now we're going to be coming up for a bullish move. Or maybe not. So it looks like it might have actually been a fake out. So yeah, you guys can obviously check out Everdex if you haven't already. And we have a lot of interesting things on there. There's like a chance to win iPhones and AirPods and stuff like that. And you've got daily tasks as well. So let's say, for example, I'm just trading Bitcoin, obviously. So let's have a look. Daily tasks, we've got, let's say, open and close trade on XRP, open close trade on Monad, Asta, Doge, Solana, Link, MYX, LTC, Avant. And pretty much what you do with these little gems is they add up and give you like a chest. And you can see in the chest you've got a daily challenge badge, 650 XP, and a lucky shot ticket. So as you can see, we've got the lucky shot here. We go, I've got 26 tickets to play, but we go open lucky shot, and then what you see here is a chance for you to win 100,000 USDT. So pretty much what you do is you try and guess which one is correct. And obviously, if you don't make it, say I step on this one, and it's not the one, obviously that was meant to be. That's it, I lose. But if you climb to the top, obviously you'll get whatever you want to get. Say right now, I've stopped at 1 USDT, and the next move is a free. I could right now claim that 1 USDT if I really wanted to. So yeah, those are just some cool things. We've got a flip card as well, so you can flip those cards and get some rewards for that as well. So let's now have a look if we actually get above this area here. If we do manage to come above this area and actually hold it, then we could be in for a move to the upside. If not, then we'll most likely see a continuation to the downside. So yeah, as I said, make sure you guys check out the link in the description where you'll find Everdex. There's a lot of there's leaderboards as well. You see competitions. Let's view competition. There we go, look. AirPods Pro, iPhone 17 Pro Max 2TB, Apple Watch Series 11. You can claim your, pretty much you do these challenges and then you can claim your USDT from here and here. So you do the challenges, look, it says, it'll pretty much explain everything. You can just check that out if you haven't already. So yeah, there's a prize pool, there's a lot of interesting things on there for you guys to check out. So we've had a bigger push to the upside now. So we'll see if it actually claims this triangle back. If not, then we could actually be in for that move to the downside there. So if we do claim this triangle right now, then we could be in for a move to the upside. If not, then most likely to that support level that we had at the bottom. But we actually need to hold it as well. And not see a big bearish candle now. And if we do hold, or even obviously come past, then we could be in for that move towards that resistance level of that 78,000. So what else do we have? We've got gold. Gold has peaked. It's sat at a resistance level now, as you can see. So if we do see continuation right about now, like it obviously hold this level, then we could see a move to the upside. If not, then say if we come back down to here, then we might actually see a further push to the downside of that support level of 77,367.3. Now, as for gold, gold seems to be struggling at that resistance level there. As you can see, we've had a multiple attempts to break through that resistance level there, and we've had some bearish, a larger bearish move here, and then it's kind of picked up the momentum, and now it's confirmed that the level is there. But yeah, if we do break this resistance level and actually hold it, then we could be in for an upside. If not, we do start making a lot more lows, then we could be in for a move to the downside. So we'll have a look at Bitcoin right now, see where we're at. Is it going to hold this level? I believe it actually might. So we could actually jump in on that next low that we get. But actually it might even be too soon to tell. We need to hold this level. What have we got dollar-wise? We've got more liquidity on the upside now. 170. Ooh, we've got 177 on the downside now. Makes it more interesting. So we only did have 142, and now we've got 177 on that downside for Bitcoin. So have we actually come down to that level before? Yeah, so this candle here, we did come down to 77,000. Just about, yeah. So we came through a little bit more, so 77,900-ish. That's where we got. That's what we got to, and yeah, liquidity there was. I believe that's this low here. Yep, and now I've got 177 on the downside. It's quite a bit. 171 on the upside and 177 on the downside. So it's slightly more. There's slightly more liquidity on the downside, whereas the upside, I mean, they're both stronger than normal. Like okay would be about 100, 200 you're looking at like decently strong. Now, is Bitcoin actually gonna hold this level or not? What about gold? Gold is showing weakness for a push to the upside. So you can see we've got a weakness currently. Well, that kind of depends on this candle right now. Let me just refresh. So we'll have 5 seconds or so left. So you can see this candle didn't quite have enough momentum to push through and make a high. So I believe we could be in for a downwards movement right about now. So this is pretty decent, yeah, pretty decent take profit level, as we do have, that is kind of a major support level there. We did see the price come slightly below it here and here as well, but this is invalid as we are looking from this area right. So you can see resistance, support. You can see we've got a weakness here to make a push for to that resistance level at the top. So based on that, we had a move to the upside, and then we kind of have a weakness in this area here. As you can see, this bullish candle wasn't able to make a continued move to the upside, and that's how we've currently got that downside movement right now. You can see it's weaker, so this bullish candle actually had to go obviously about here somewhere to make it obviously a move to the resistance level at the top. But as it's weaker, obviously we've got a weakness in that whole movement there. So you can see we've got a weakness in this whole move. You can see it's been going bullish, and then this candle failed to come above and make a high around there, or even a little bit lower. So the fact that it obviously couldn't, and now it's come for a push to the downside. And for Bitcoin, what's Bitcoin doing? It kind of did come higher. I believe we will be in for a push to the upside. We've kind of held that level there. I believe we are getting more momentum and a stronger impulse from the buyers actually. So this even the next candle should ideally make a push for the upside, unless we don't have enough momentum and we do consolidate for a while. So we'll either see a push to the upside to get a higher high based on that candle, or we consolidate, or we don't have enough momentum and we do go in for a push to the downside, as this move is relatively sharper than we do obviously for the buyers. So the sellers did show a lot of strength from this move here, you can see. So yeah, we could get a scenario where we have obviously that push from the sellers, and then we continue like that. That's kind of the move we've got right now. Or we consolidate and come sideways, as you know, and then push for the upside if there's enough momentum to come through to this resistance level there. If not, then we test that support at the bottom. So you can see it's slightly dipped below this trend line. As you can see, we've got those candles perfectly hitting that candle, this candle again, and then not quite this one. So we've had a little bit of a break of that structure there. So it was coming bullish, sorry, as you can see, and then it kind of broke through now, and it's created. Never mind. So yeah, that could be that weakness that we are now getting from the sellers. Should we short gold? I have just shorted gold, so do as you please. Of course, I can't advise you to make financial decisions. But yeah, you guys can watch me do it. If you feel like you are running in the right direction. Of course, obviously you have to analyze before you actually enter your trades as well. because obviously I am not responsible for your losses. So yeah, don't forget, obviously that disclaimer is in the description below. So I am not responsible for losses. But like I say, yeah, do as you please. It's a fact that gold hasn't obviously come up to that resistance level, and it's actually struggled multiple times to come to even to it. Say we're looking in the 1 hour time frame now. We'll get rid of those so they don't get confused. We will delete that there, and I'll go full screen so you guys can kind of get a nicer view of what's going on. So currently we did have a breakout through that resistance level there, as you can see this movement here. We are in the 1 hour time frame, so what we're seeing is relatively strong. The lower you go, the slightly weaker it gets, as obviously you don't have like a wider view of how the market has moved. So all those 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, 15 minute, half an hour, and obviously 15-minute time frames are all like a zoomed in version. So if you zoom out, you get like a more solid and genuine movement for the market. So pretty much what we've currently had here is a breakout, which is obviously a false breakout, as it came back in to this key level. So let me just get a marker. So we broke through here, and then we kind of tried to break through again here and again there, and then we came back down to the support level. There is confirmation of the support level here and here as well, and then we consolidated, tried to break up again, come back down to the support level, and then there was a larger break there that we tried, didn't get through, and then looks like here as well, back down to the support level, and then we've just got that same thing again, but we had a confirmation of the resistance level. And a confirmation is pretty much when a candle wick, which is the little line thing, comes and touches that level perfectly, which we do have that in this case. We have one here as well, and here as well. So it's a good indication that the level is there, and it's like, genuine. It's like a way of the market telling us, yeah, it's there, it's all good. So yeah, we've had multiple tries through that resistance level, much larger one at the start, but obviously you can see it's kept within this key level of 4,720 and 4,676. So the fact that we've got a failed attempt here as well kind of gives us an indication that we could be in for a move to the downside, as this whole area we've had a fail here, here again, there, and then again here. So if I were to zoom in now, looking at the 1 minute time frame, as you can see from this point here, we've had a fail at this area. So we've had this bullish candle not being able to maintain this upwards move that we've got here. Let me just get that trend line back up again. So you can see it was going bullish back up to that resistance level, and then we kind of broke that structure here. So the fact that we saw the weakness in this candle kind of gives us an indication that we are going to go back down for a bearish move. So yeah, I took my trade for a short position right here where I saw that weakness forming, and now we seem to be in a little bit of profit, which is good. But yeah, make sure obviously you guys check out Everdex as well. We've got actually a lot of nice, interesting things lined up as well. So very, very recently we have added, we've got Fartcoin now, we've got crude oil, gold, Dogecoin, silver, Near Protocol. There's more leverage on traditional coins. We've got like Pepe and Solana. I don't think Solana had 100x before, it had about 75. So now it does have 100x. Now we have Near Protocol, Aptos, Bit&Saw, Monad. Yeah, these are relatively new. S&P 500 ETF, Pippin, Sui, Virtual Protocol, Sahara, Pudgy Penguins and Bonk. And now the new one that we have, I believe, we've got Tesla now, we've got Tron as well, Bitcoin Cash, that's new, I think that dropped today actually. Let me have a look. Looks like it's been on there for a while. Wow, yeah, but that's new. That was, I think that came actually on here today. And then Tesla's definitely new, Tron is new. And there's a lot of leverage on all of these commodities and futures and whatnot. So you've got Pump Fund. You can pretty much trade anything you want to trade. You've got Pudgy Penguins, we've got gold, silver, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, everything you want to trade. Unless you're in a very different market to everyone else, then yeah, this is a good place to start. Obviously you get the rewards as well, which is very cool. So you've got a chance to win an iPhone. It's not like, you know, the lowest one, it's the full specs one. It's Pro Max, you've got 2 terabytes of storage. So you've got the Apple Watch as well and the AirPods. So it's a very nice place and very nice community to actually be in. So you can see we've had a little bit of push from the buyers there. And if we were to look at Bitcoin now, Bitcoin is still kind of consolidating within this range of this triangle. So I believe it's trying to reclaim that level that we've got there. And now, like I said, if it does claim this level, then we could be in for a move to the upside. But if it obviously, you know, holds it but doesn't actually, obviously fails to hold it, then yeah, from about, I'd say, even this low, we could definitely expect a move to the downside of 77k, where we have support, and a little bit further down, we have liquidity of 177 million now. Before it was 174, and now you can see a big push for the downside. So if we were to actually look at liquidity wise, yeah, we've still got 177 on the downside. So that's 77,000 million liquidity. But now it kind of depends on what the buyers can do in this area. You can see they're kind of protecting this level that we've currently got. We've had a big move here, buyers keep coming, and again, so we might actually see the same kind of move happening again. So if I were to get a path drawn, we might, obviously you can see a big move from the sellers, a much more slower move from the buyers. You can see candle wise, so we've got 2 large candles, 2 large bearish candles there, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bullish ones, and then we have a bit of consolidation in this range, and then another big move down to that downside. So we can see, maybe expect the same kind of move here, and then a move to that downside, unless we have that momentum and we actually do continue to go bullish and test for that resistance level. As we have done that, multiple times for Bitcoin as well. You can see we've had that big sharp drop, and then we've tried again to break through that resistance, and again there, and again there, and now again here, or ever since here, we have come bearish. So yeah, we might be in for a move to the upside. And as for gold, gold still seems to be struggling to get that momentum to come to that resistance level. Hello, Michael. No, I didn't. I sold. I just made a short position for gold. As you can see, it's on the move. It's on the downwards move now. I shorted around 4,709. I did see that weakness. You can see here. So it was coming bullish, sticking to this kind of trend line. As you can see, bouncing off that level, bouncing off that level, bouncing off that level. And then we kind of broke that structure here, and yeah, that was kind of like a nice indication for a short position. And now we've been coming bearish ever since. We might see some hello, Tagne. Hello, sir. How are you? So we might see some resistance here, but I think it'll be relatively, weak, and we'll get a further push to that downside. What have we got for Bitcoin? Bitcoin does seem, there we go, there's that move to the downside. So we are potentially going to now come in for a move to that support level and claim that liquidity that we've got at 77,097-ish, something like that. So we've got it here. You can see 77,097. So we are getting closer and closer to that level there. Might see some resistance here from this previous low. The DX up, so what's DX? Dollar, you mean? Oh no, I mean 77,200. Let me have a look at the dollar index. Have we had any news today? I don't think we have. Nothing too crazy. Let's have a look. I think today was pretty quiet. Next week is going to be relatively active. We did have quite a lot of things happening next week, actually. Yes, you can see global tension is relatively mediocre at the minute. It's not high, so we are getting a nicer session with gold and Bitcoin as well. So let's have a nice little check on dollar index, I believe it was. And now for Forex Factory, we did not have too much. Yeah, I mean, look, we had some news at 5 p.m. Revised UOM consumer sentiment. Yeah, nothing too crazy. With retail sales for GBP, but then next week we do have quite a lot. I think Thursday was a pretty busy day. That's Friday. That's Friday, Saturday. You can see 2 p.m. to about 4ish p.m. Is relatively active. We have a lot of news for next week. Bitcoin's kind of stuck right now. That liquidity is still sat at 77k. You can see we're very close to it. Currently we're at 77,600, so it's not far off. It's not far off at all. We do seem to be climbing ever so slightly. We might see actually some consolidation within that range now until we get that momentum going again. So we do seem to have like a stronger push from the buyers currently. So as you can see, for gold, for Bitcoin, we did fail to hold that level of that triangle. So this is where I would expect a move to the downside for Bitcoin. Let me just refresh so you can see what we've got candle wise. So we do need currently a stronger move from the sellers for a push to the downside of that liquidity that we've got sat at that level of 77,000. Right there, 177 million in liquidity. I always look dollar index before every trade. Next week going to be a strong week. We have Tesla, yes sir, we have Tesla on Everdex. Crazy, isn't it? Crazy. Yeah, I've got Tesla, Bitcoin Cash, MYX is already on there. Tron is on there as well now. Avant was on there as already. BNB, I believe that's new. Binance USD, I think that is. Bonk was on there. So yeah, Tesla is also now on Everdex. Very cool. Gold does seem to be doing pretty well. So right now we do need a bigger bearish candle for Bitcoin. So it needs to break through this low that we've currently got. It's got about 15 seconds or so left for that candle to fully form. About 10-ish seconds left. There is quite a lot of, there's quite a big push from the buyers currently for Bitcoin. We can obviously see it in the market movements. And news-wise, we don't really have anything. Update on Iran-US war. Iranian FM Sayed Abbas will visit. There we go. There's a bit more movement in Bitcoin to that downside. It seems there is a bit of weakness now in the buyers. They aren't pushing as hard. Might see some consolidation actually within this range right now. What on earth is that? do believe it will come in for a push to that downside. I mean, I did say before, we've still got that 73k, 77,300 support level at the bottom there. But then we've also got that liquidity of 177 million at the level of 77,000 and something, about 77,097. So I shouldn't really see a reason for Bitcoin to kind of change direction all of a sudden, unless something I don't know, kind of major happens, maybe news-wise, war-wise. So if we get something bad happening, you know, like conflict and something negative, then we'll definitely see Bitcoin coming to the downside. But the fact that we're currently, we didn't obviously hold this position here, and now we do have a push to that downside as well. Right, I'll be back in a sec. You guys watch my trade for me. From a different perspective, it actually does look like we still have that strength from the sellers. Like it's relatively stronger than the buyers. But we are in kind of a consolidation phase at the minute. Bitcoin is kind of pushing to the upside though. which is not too good. We are going to exit that, as that is very, very bad. Got a little bit of weakness there from the buyers. But we'll see what happens in this area right now. We might actually see a move to the downside. It is not enough strength to get past this previous peak. You can see there is a bit of weakness here from that candle there. We'll most likely see a move down right about now. As for Bitcoin, we are in a consolidation phase. I don't believe we will hold, and this could be a good area to come in for a short position to that downside actually. Yeah, so in a consolidation phase at the minute for Bitcoin and gold as well. And we're still kind of leaning to that bearish scenario. That's why I did enter that trade just then. We still have got that liquidity at the bottom. The support level is here at the bottom. We have made a, actually looking at the larger time frame, we have made a higher high. Actually, let me have a look. A lower low and a lower high. You see we've got that high there, a low, a high, and then what we'd expect about now is a low. That would be obviously lower than this one. We are leaning very bearish though. We kind of broke that structure slightly. Might not have been a true break though. Gold is coming very bearish now. We did see that weakness from this high, you can see. So the fact that we didn't go past this previous high shows us a weakness in the uptrend. So for a continuation of the uptrend, what we would have seen is something like this. So we have the first low, then we have the high, the second high, the second low, the second high, the third low, which should have realistically been up here if we were to get a continuation of the uptrend, and then that would make the next high higher than this previous, so we get it about there. As you can see, this kind of move here would have been expected if we were in an uptrend, but the fact that we've got this candle, this big red one, bearish one, that means there's a weakness. So ideally it should have ended, like I said, around here, and the fact that it didn't shows us there is a weakness and we are in for a move to the opposite side, and that is exactly what's happened. So instead we've gone high, a low, so that's the first high, the first low, the second high, which is obviously higher than the previous, but then the second low is actually lower, so then the high is also lower as well. So we've got that weakness in this whole uptrend, and pretty much from here what we've done is done that. So you see that that third one is kind of just cut off and it's no longer there. So we have boom, 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 boom there, that weakness, and most likely a move to the downside. Looks something like that. We'll get a bit of resistance here, maybe a little high, and then a continuation. Bitcoin is also showing some strength from the buyers as well. If you guys have any questions, do feel free to message or whatever. I don't bite anyone. yeah, do feel free to also check out Everdex. Is in the description below. If you're looking to trade, don't know where to trade, or you're simply, I don't know, if you're wanting to trade alongside, feel free to check the link in the description below. So that previous trade, we did actually lose about 360. That is because of this peak here. We entered somehow idiotically at this bottom, thinking the momentum is going to continue and we'll continue with that move. And then we moved all the way up here. So you can see we consolidated for a while and then we broke through. Looks like we've got a bit of weakness here in the sellers. Somehow I've got some big bullish candle there. Let's refresh. US criminal investigation drops case on Jerome Powell. Move will remove obstacle for confirmation of Kevin Walsh. Trump's pick to replace Powell as Federal Reserve Chair. Interesting. What on earth is that? Bitcoin actually is, oh my god. What on earth has just happened? Wow. That is crazy. That is crazy. Was that a fake out or was that an actual move? It seems, I believe that was because of this. So we all just saw what happened, and it wasn't really too positive. So, you trade this wrong time when New York's open? No, the news just came out about this guy, and you pretty much saw what happened. So this here was at 1844, and then this came out at when did this come out? Six minutes ago, and that now we're at exactly. So yeah, that's the news. It will follow S&P 500. Let's have a look. Everything got hit. Solana slightly, Ethereum, Bitcoin got hit pretty hard. Doge, not pump fund, maybe a little bit there. But yeah, Bitcoin pretty hard. Question is it going to come down to that level where we have that support or not? Is it going to continue bullish? Yeah, that was crazy, that move there, that was crazy. 4,700. 4,700, we are at 4,700. I'm not sure. This push kind of made everything a little bit more messy. We've had rejection from the resistance level multiple times, as you can see. Here, here again, there and there. What have we just got? SecWar Pete Hegseth tells US allies the time for free riding is over. We barely use the Strait of Hormuz as a country. Our energy doesn't flow through there. Europe and Asia have benefited from our protection for decades, but the time for free riding is over. Let's have a look what he says.
It's also worth saying, this should not be America's fight alone. We barely use the Strait of Hormuz as a country. Our energy doesn't flow through there. And we have plenty of energy. Just look at the new global Congo line, headed to Texas. A beautiful picture. Europe and Asia have benefited from our protection for decades, but the time for free riding is over. America and the free world deserve allies who are capable, who are loyal, and who understand that being an ally is not a one-way street.
That is not good.
It's a two-way street. We are not counting on Europe, but they need the Strait of Hormuz much more than we do, and might want to start doing less talking and having less fancy conferences in Europe and getting a boat. It's also worth saying.
I mean, that doesn't sound good. I'm not gonna lie, that does not sound good. It's pretty much saying like these countries are taking the piss, and that America is obviously doing a big part, and everyone's kind of benefiting from everything else. Obviously the fuel for Europe and whatever. And I feel like that might create a little bit of conflict surrounding obviously all these countries. So news right now is very, very important. News is very important currently. What have we got liquidity wise? Still 177 mil. Oh, time to withdraw from NATO. All the Europeans are woke, good riddance. Another member of the liquor cabinet trying to act tough. Yeah, I mean, it's not really good news, but crude oil plummeted since that. It's actually crazy how fast the news like affects the markets, you know. A couple of seconds, I don't know, a minute or two later, and you see a big dump like that. Kind of crazy. So, wasn't so positive for crude oil. Gold positive, Bitcoin positive, crude oil negative, and then most likely for the dollar, it was also negative. Yep. You can see that was at 44, how it has affected it. What? What? Are we in a different time zone again? Or what's going on? We're in a really good time zone, but then look, we're at 56. That's 44. That's 45. And this currently is at 46, even though we're at 56. Is it 10 minutes behind? Or am I missing something again? 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I have no clue what's going on. But yeah, you can see how it affected. You can see how it affected the dollar index, and then how it affected oil as well. Crude oil, obviously down, but for gold and Bitcoin, we have that big jump there. It even went high, as high as 78,180. Gold, same thing. You can see, which is kind of crazy. But we are seeing weakness to the upside again. You can see. You see it's coming down already. Might be in for a downtrend actually, judging the shape of those bearish candles there. Something like that. What have we got for Bitcoin? Consolidating. Maybe that was a planned, something that was planned right here. It was coming to that downside, and then yeah, we had to just pump it up for some reason. Gold, I'm not too yeah, see, that's exactly what I was talking about. So we'll wait for it to bounce off of this support level, and then we can potentially go in for a trade, for a short position. But yeah, like I said, first we'll get a confirmation that the key level is working. We have some confirmation from the upper end. You can see resistance there, but from the, yeah, not quite. It's kind of the same, but you see it's smaller here, but then it's wider here. We don't really want to be seeing that. But we'll see once it bounces off this support level on the bottom here. Whereas Bitcoin, we might be seeing the same thing. Still weakness to the upside as well. We might actually be seeing another triangle here. You can see we've got the higher lows, but then the lower highs. So this high is lower, this high is lower, this high is lower. But then for lows, this low is higher, this low is higher, this one as well, and then most likely this one too. So we'll get a sharp break in either direction, either to the upside or the downside. I'm thinking downside, as this move was kind of just based off news, and we was actually heading in that direction of the support level. gold is kind of not following. There's that breakout like we saw before. You can see we broke through that, came up, and then we fell even deeper, and then we came bullish again. That news came out here. We go bullish quite high. But the fact that we have, I think this is a fake out that we've seen right here, as this candle is relatively large, but then we've got a bullish one right next to it, and it matches that movement fully. Gold seems to be gold. See Bitcoin on the same kind of move again, so we might actually do have like a full push towards that downside. So yeah, like a big factor is currently the news. We haven't got any. US freezes $344 million in cryptocurrency said to be linked to Iran. Trump administration has frozen $344 million in cryptocurrency it says was linked to Iran as the United States ratchets up pressure on Tehran. The move, fiercely reported by CNN, comes as shaky diplomatic efforts to reach a deal to end the war to continue to stall, and the global economy reels from its impacts. The administration has sought to increase economic pressure on Iran during the tenuous ceasefire. It is unclear if the large sum of money seized will have an impact on Tehran or its approach to the war and negotiations. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said Friday that the agency is sanctioning multiple wallets tied to Iran. Let's have a look. I mean, it's not broken through. It's kind of consolidated inside of it. There's that larger bearish move, where it's like the same scenario for gold. So what we could expect now is a push to the upside from gold now. See, gold has come bearish again. We can see there is a bit of weakness from the sellers now. Or is it going to be continued bearish move? That's the question. Four 707. where are we at with liquidity? I do believe Bitcoin will go to that liquidity level to the downside. That liquidity at the top side is no longer there. We've got 138 million now, 120, 130, but there is a stronger magnet on the downside for that 77k level. I mean, that is the way, that is the direction it was heading before that news came out here. We don't want to be seeing weakness now in these sellers, because that could give us an indication that we're coming for a move to the upside. But we've got a nice pattern coming right now. You can see. That's what we've currently got going on. That right there. Now we are in for a strong move to the downside now. Look at that. Very nice. Might have a bit of resistance here. You see price came down, jumped up back a bit. About 20-ish seconds left on that candle there. So what I'm expecting for this new movement now would be, obviously we started from the top here, movement, we'll get maybe some consolidation here and a push to the downside. If not, if there's not enough resistance at this level, we'll continue to push to the downside. So like I said, we'll get some consolidation in this area here. Hello, hello, Michael. Welcome back. Welcome back. Everything was going good, and then that news came out, and it kind of made everything a bit messy. So, yeah, I mean, this big move here kind of cooked me. So we are in for that move to that downside, as you can see. We have a strong move from the sellers right now. We are on that way to that support level, which is at 77,367. How are you guys doing? How is everyone doing today? You can see we've got resistance at this level here. Right there. Most likely see a consolidation right there, and then a push to the downside. We have got a weakness in the buyers actually. As you can see, small candles from the buyers. We did get some movement, but you can see we'll most likely now get a push to the downside, as there is a bit of a weakness actually within the buyers. We did get a 51 to 49, which is not too good to be seeing. We need a 51 to 49 for the sellers, which would be a better indication. You can see, so this previously was support, and now when the market flips like it has now, as you can see, the market is now on the move to the downside. Now this support area here has changed into resistance, and you can see by the price movement at this level here. So you can see it seems to be struggling a little bit. You see these lows, a low there, low there, low there. They're all like in the same kind of level. So the first candle touches a level, second candle touches, third candle touches as well. So now we need to break through that level there. There we go. Might see a little bit of resistance here as well. There we go. There's that push through that level that we had there. You can see as each candle wick is it's obviously in the same kind of level. So this one's, all these three candle wicks here are in a relatively the same kind of level. You can see stops there, stops there, stops there. So that clearly shows that there is something invisible. Obviously you can't see it now, but there is something there that's keeping that price from going, you know, further in, like further to the downside. So we do have that movement back up here again, here again. And then we've got, I think, more resistance at this level here. What we don't want to be seeing is that price now coming above this high here. So the fact that it has bounced off like this could show that there is more resistance at this level here. And it's not letting the market go past this previous low. So we've got a low here, a lower low there, and potentially we can have now another lower low, which could form that downtrend. But we have a higher high here, which kind of would defeat that purpose there. Which, say, let's have a look in the higher time frame. That might give us actually an indication that we could be in for a move to the upside. As you can see, we're there on that move to the downside, and then this big thing here kind of made everything a lot more difficult, but then we are still kind of within that range. We'll see what these next couple of candles do before we actually make a real decision. So there's no news currently. Not had any news. Elevated but relatively neutral. Nothing too crazy. There we go, there's a bigger candle from the sellers. Bigger push to that downside. Gives us a bit of a relief, you know, that we still are on a solid move to the downside. We need to see a stronger move now from the sellers to push past this previous low here. But the fact that we've got this bullish candle here is not really a good sign. Not really a good sign. Shows that we have got weakness in that move to the downside. Got about 40-ish seconds on that candle to fully form. We might be in for a move to the upside now, actually. We want to be seeing weakness to the upside, realistically. And the continuation for that push to the downside. That liquidity on the upside is now gone. We had 171 million there as well, but that's gone. There's what, like 138. But then on the level of 77k, we have got 177 million in liquidity. So I do believe we will be in for that push to the downside. Now we need to see the stronger move from the sellers, as we are currently in a position where we could have an uptrend forming. So you can see here, that would be an uptrend, as you can see. Higher highs and higher lows. So what we need is this candle that we currently got to come past and create obviously a weakness within the uptrend. Or we get like a slight bump there. So like, so get this here, this, and a continuation would be very good to see, something like that. So this high that's currently forming right now shouldn't surpass this previous high. That would kind of give us a good signal we're coming for the push to the downside. That would show us that weakness from the buyers as well. But if we get it like that, then we've got an uptrend. So if we don't, and it ends up like this, then we're in a good position for this move to the downside, like I said. So that move was most likely from a bigger player. So now it's like this. Got about 18 seconds left on that candle to fully form. What have we got for gold? Gold's kind of broken that structure of that downtrend. Got about 3 seconds left for Bitcoin. And yes, it has created that higher high. So now we will most likely be coming bullish. Gold has tried to come up for that push to the upside, but you can see it's been denied again. So there is a weakness for the upside currently. And that's for Bitcoin and gold. Yeah, nothing too crazy going on. It's quietened down a little bit. Things have got a little bit more silent. Bitcoin is still a thought and move to the upside. Liquidity hasn't changed. There is still 177 on that 77,000. I was going to say we're getting some weakness within this upwards move, but it seems that we haven't. Oh, there we go, there's some big candle there. So where have we just hit? So there was a little bit of weakness. I was gonna say, but I didn't want to speak too soon. It can be seen from this bearish candle there. Might be in for a move to the downside now. Yeah, so it's very, very close. It's very, very 50-50 right now. Most likely get a high around here, so I believe we'll jump in on that trade there for a downside. What have we got for timing wise? We've got about a couple more seconds. That's that candle fully finished now. What are we gonna get? We'll get a slight push to the upside, I reckon, or not. Where are we at with gold? Gold sticking, consolidating, I believe, but it looks like it is. You can see there's a weakness to the upside. It has tried to go and break through this level here. Not quite had it. Come up slightly, again come up slightly, but then this attempt is lower than this previous attempt. And now this high is obviously lower. So we are in a good position to come in for a short position. I don't want to jump in on that trade on Bitcoin. We'll definitely get some resistance here. So that's 77,640. We can set a limit order at that. 77,640. Or is it going to be a further push to the downside already? What even is that? Honestly. just don't get why there's gaps as well. Kenyan appeal court overturns ruling that affirmed. Why do I need to know that? Trump's DOJ probe that stood in the way of president's pick to run Federal Reserve. The Justice Department just passed an investigation of Fed chair, which could lead to a clear path for Kevin Walsh. CoinDesk has just tweeted that. So we're going to come in for another big push to the upside like we just did. We'll close gold. Buy it. I mean, judging from what happened last time when that news came out, look, this is, I think this, yeah, this is that move that happened here. Look at all that, massive. I think we've got to give it a minute or two for that news to actually settle in. CoinDesk is like a actual, you know, genuine news source. Today, I think I'm up about 100 USD. Got pretty cooked by those news that we had at 1844. So yeah, that was pretty crazy. And we did come past that previous low, and we actually closed past that previous low as well, but it was a bullish candle. Appeals court says Trump's asylum ban at the border is illegal, agreeing with lower courts. Like I said, it was Crackdown. That's immigration. That might have an effect on the dollar, but nothing too crazy for Bitcoin or gold, I don't think. So I believe now we will come in for a push to the downside. This push here, I believe, was directly due to that news source of CoinDesk. As you can see, Trump's DOG drops probe that stood in way of president's pick for federal run for Federal Reserve. So CoinDesk is a relatively legit source. So it's good to have Glint. Like, Glint is really good. Carlos Alcaraz says he won't defend. Oh, whatever. The US officially brings back firing squads for executions. The Justice Department is resuming federal executions after years of long moratorium and has already approved death sentences for 44 people. Not looking good. Not looking good for those guys, let me tell you that. I reckon we'll get a further push to the downside now, to that level of liquidity, which we had at 70,000 actually. Ooh, what have we got now? Trump warring and reposted. 91 politicized charges. 11 years of slander, censorship and hoaxes, 9 years of lawfare and weaponization, 2 general election opponents in one cycle, 2 assassination attempts, 2 impeachments. Now they want to impeach him again. They don't care about the people. All they want to do is get Trump. That's not good, is it?
The rhythm, it calls out to me.
A little bit more elevated. Little bit more elevated. What other news are we gonna get? Oh my days, what on earth was that? I think that was to get rid of those positions so it can push further to the downside. Are we going to see that move now?
You've got a great idea. GoDaddy has the perfect domain name to go with it.
Shush. So Bitcoin hasn't actually tested today, our session today. So ever since we started, which was about 4 o'clock-ish, about 5-ish actually, so about here somewhere, it's been going bearish. We had some consolidation within that same range. Now we are at a low. Oh my god. Are those actually moves to liquidate those long positions, or what have we got? The fact that it's happened twice now, this massive jump. So here and here now from this candle. Liquidity is still in the downside. $138, yeah, it's the same. 177 in downside. If we go past this previous peak, then we might be in a bit of trouble. We need something negative. We need something negative on the news to bring it down. Yeah, no news for now. The thing is, we still have got strength from the sellers, like you can see gold's kind of consolidating within this range now. There we go, there's a much stronger move, sorry. we've still got that liquidity at the bottom. Ever since that, obviously our session, we have been coming bearish. We have been coming bearish. Sorry. Liquidity at the start was about 140 something. We had 170 mil at the top, and now that liquidity on the top is kind of gone. There is still a little bit left. We've got 138, but there is still a lot more for the downside. So the downside, we've got 177 at 77,106. Bitcoin is moving relatively volatile right now. Choppy price action within this current range, you can see, especially like this candle here. I think it was to liquidate those positions. Same for this one as well, but it looks like it's failed, and then we have come for a push to the upside now. Yeah, make sure you guys obviously check out Everdex in the description below. A lot of interesting things on there now. Like I mentioned before, many things to trade. Obviously we've got Bitcoin Cash, Tesla, Tron as well, BNB, Sahara, Pippin, S&P 500 ETF, silver, gold, Bitcoin, you name it, it's there. So yeah, check that out if you haven't already. Question is this actually the move? Was this the the move before the actual move? So did we get a push to the upside to then come in for a push to the downside and actually break this previous low? Because we kind of struggled to break it, and then we had some spikes here and here, which kind of suggests that we are trying to get rid of those positions to get them liquidated so we can push down to that level of support at 77,300, which is at this level here, you can see. Right guys, I reckon I'm going to have to exit this trade, but I'll obviously see you all in the next session. Thank every one of you for watching, and make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't obviously you stay up to speed with all the latest videos. We'll have something happening, I believe, on the weekend, as these things are getting slightly more active. We have had a lot of interesting things happen this week, but you know, as always, Trump does like to do things on a weekend, so I will be active for the weekend, and I'll obviously update you guys if anything does happen, anything, you know, crazy or even quiet, maybe some accumulation over the weekend, you know, maybe not too much noise, and then yeah, we'll see what happens. So thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.